Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. In this video, we're going to be discussing Albus Dumbledore and what his original wand was made of. We know that later in life Albus acquires the Elder Wand, but what was the wand that he had before that? In Chapter 5 of the Philosopher's Stone, wands are described as follows. A wand is the object through which a witch or wizard channels his or her magic. It's made from wood and has a magical substance at its core. Wands made by Ollivander have cores of phoenix feather, unicorn hair, or dragon heartstring, and are of varying woods, lengths, and flexibilities. When Albus Dumbledore was young, he met a young Gellert Grindelwald. The pair decided on leading a wizarding revolution that would effectively put an end to the international statute of secrecy, breaking down the secretive divide between the two worlds. However, Albus's sister, Ariana, was killed in a three-way duel between Albus, Abeforth, and Grindelwald. It was at this point that the boys parted ways. Grindelwald would then go on to steal the Elder Wand from Mykew Gregorovitch, who held the wand at that time. Grogorovitch, the proprietor of a wand shop, started spreading rumours about his possession of the wand, hoping that it would improve business. This was a foolish and fatal error, as Grindelwald stole the wand from his workshop in the middle of the night. The Elder Wand was the first hallow created, made by Death himself, and it was said to be the most powerful wand that ever existed. With it, Grindelwald was able to effortlessly produce intensely powerful magic that other witches and wizards could only dream of. The Elder Wand is made of elderwood, and its core is the tail hair of a thestral. So we know that it's an extremely powerful wand. However, we also know that in 1945, Grindelwald was defeated despite being in possession of this wand. He was defeated by none other than Albus Dumbledore. So, what wand did Dumbledore originally have? What was his wand made of? Obviously, Dumbledore becomes the owner of the Elder Wand after defeating Grindelwald. But the Dumbledore that we know and love didn't always possess it. There was a time when, just like every other witch and wizard, Dumbledore went out and bought his very own first wand. Dumbledore would have purchased this wand in 1892 at Ollivander's, right after he turned 11. Given Dumbledore's age, it's likely that he purchased the one from Gerald Ollivander, the grandfather of Garrick. So, Dumbledore's original wand was just from a wand shop? There was no fabled story surrounding it, like the Elder Wand and its association with the Deathly Hallows? That's right, it was just a regular wand, but it was still powerful, and its owner was even more powerful. When J.K. Rowling was asked what Dumbledore's original wand was made of, she responded with the following. I must admit, I always wondered why nobody ever asked me what Dumbledore's wand was made of, and I couldn't say that, even when asked, what do you wish you'd been asked, because it would have signposted just how significant that wand would become. This was a bit of a non-answer, and it got me theorizing, and I have a few very different theories on this topic. My first theory is that Dumbledore's original wand was related to the Elder Wand in some way, and I say this because I think that it could be a logical explanation for how Dumbledore ends up beating Grindelwald. We know that the Elder Wand contains a thestral tail core, and we learn from Harry and Voldemort's unique circumstances that when wands share properties, strange things can happen. In the Deathly Hallows, Dumbledore describes the scenario depicting how Harry's and Voldemort's wands interacted. Voldemort proceeded to attack you with a wand that shared a core with yours, and now something very strange happened, as we know. The cores reacted in a way that Lord Voldemort, who never knew that your wand was a twin of his, had never expected. He was more afraid than you were that night, Harry. You had accepted, even embraced, the possibility of death, something Lord Voldemort has never been able to do. Your courage won. Your wand overpowered his. And in doing so, something happened between those wands, something that echoed the relationship between their masters. I believe that your wand imbibed some of the power and qualities of Voldemort's wand that night, which is to say that it contained a little of Voldemort himself. So your wand recognized him when he pursued you, recognized a man who was both kin and mortal enemy, and it regurgitated some of his own magic against him. So, do we just accept that Dumbledore knows wand lore exceptionally well because he's intelligent and wise? Or do we perhaps suspect that he knows it well because he's experienced some unusual things with wands firsthand? If the final duel with Grindelwald truly became a battle of wills, then I don't know anyone with a stronger will than Dumbledore. Maybe the Elder Wand was more powerful than Dumbledore's wand, but the fact that the two shared a thestral tail core meant that this didn't matter anymore. Since nobody knows how Dumbledore defeated Grindelwald, I think that this is a somewhat logical explanation. My next theory for Dumbledore's original wand is that, like the wands of many others, it was nothing particularly special and had no ancient stories tied to it. It was just a regular wand that was a good fit for a young Albus Dumbledore. Long ago, on J.K. Rowling's website, she posted an article about her discovery of the Celtic calendar. In her article, she wrote about the relationship between different trees being assigned to different birth months. She also noted that she intentionally matched Ron and Hermione's wandwoods, ash and vine, to the calendar. Bearing this in mind, as long as we know when someone is born, we should be able to figure out what sort of wood their wand uses. Rowling has expressed that Dumbledore was born sometime in late July or early August. According to the Celtic calendar, this would mean that the wood from his original wand was either holly or oak. It's a bold assessment to assume that every character fits this formula, but Rowling has said herself that she matched Ron and Hermione's wandwoods to this, so I think that it gives us a reasonable base to theorize on Dumbledore's wand. Wands made of holly have been described as follows. Holly is one of the rarer kinds of wandwoods. Traditionally considered protective, it works most happily for those who may need help overcoming a tendency to anger and impetuosity. At the same time, holly wands often choose owners who are engaged in some dangerous and often spiritual quest. Holly is one of those woods that varies most dramatically in performance, depending on the wand core, and it is a notoriously difficult wood to team with phoenix feather, as the wood's volatility conflicts strangely with the phoenix's detachment. In the unusual event of such a pairing finding its ideal match, however, nothing and nobody should stand in their way. Harry Potter's first wand was made of holly, and the fact that Dumbledore had one of his own could be the reason that he knows so much about it. An oak wand is described as follows. A wand for good times and bad. This is a friend as loyal as the wizard who deserves it. Wands of English oak demand partners of strength, courage, and fidelity. Less well known is the propensity for owners of English oak wands to have powerful intuition and, often, an affinity with the magic of the natural world, with the creatures and plants that are necessary to wizard kind for both magic and pleasure. The oak tree is called King of the Forest from the winter solstice up until the summer solstice, and its wood should only be collected during that time. Holly becomes king as the days begin to shorten again, and so holly should only be gathered as the year wanes. This divide is believed to be the origin of the old superstition when his one's oak and hers is holly, then to marry would be folly, a superstition that I have found baseless. It is said that Merlin's wand was also made of English oak, though his grave has never been found, so this cannot be proven. Rubeus Hagrid's original wand was made of oak, the one that he possessed before it was snapped and he was expelled from Hogwarts. Because oak wands are generally associated with a love of nature and woodlands, which matches Hagrid nicely, and because holly wands are often paired with people who are destined to engage upon some dangerous and often spiritual quest, I think that holly is the safe choice between the two. The third and final wandwood that I think Dumbledore could have possessed is ebony. Though it contradicts everything that has been stated about the Celtic calendar, its description seems to match Dumbledore quite well. This jet black wandwood has an impressive appearance and reputation, being highly suited to all manner of combative magic and to transfiguration. Ebony is happiest in the hand of those with the courage to be themselves. Frequently nonconformist, highly individual, or comfortable with the status of outsider, ebony wand owners have been found both among the ranks of the Order of the Phoenix and among the Death Eaters. In my experience, the ebony wand's perfect match is one who will hold fast to his or her beliefs, no matter what the external pressure, and will not be swayed lightly from their purpose. Given that ebony is highly suited to transfiguration, a branch of magic that Dumbledore has mastered, I think that this wandwood could be one to consider. So we've got the woods out of the way, and I think that we can narrow it down to, rather safely, holly or ebony. But wands also come in different lengths. So how long was Dumbledore's wand? The following blurb on Pottermore explains wand lengths and their significance. Most wands are between 9 and 15 inches long. Wand makers often match the wand length to the height of witch or wizard who will use it, but Ollivander considers this measure inadequate. In his experience, longer than average wands tend to be drawn to those with a physical peculiarity or a bigger personality, whereas abnormally short ones select people whose character lacks in something. Because of Dumbledore's larger-than-life personality, I think that it would be safe to assume that his wand, just like the Elder Wand, is 15 inches long, or at least close to. And that's it for this video. If you enjoy the content, please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. What do you guys think that Dumbledore's original wand was made of? Let us know down in the comment section below. Until next time, you're Wizard Harry!